and prevent similar incidents. Mr. Speaker, I wish to state as follows: the identities and circumstances surrounding the exhumation of 4 bodies. Mr. Speaker, on 8th of June 2026, a report was made at Mwingi Police Station that a foul smell was emanating from a bush near Galana Petrol Station on the outskirts of Mwingi town. Police officers responded immediately and established the presence of suspected shallow graves. The area was secured and an application for exhumation orders was made. Following the issuance of an exhumation order by the Mwingi Law Courts on 9th of June 2026, a multi-agency team comprising officers from the National Police Service, the DCI, the Department of Public Health, and Ministry of Health exhumed 4 decomposed bodies of unidentified adult males from 4 separate shallow graves. Subsequently, forensic experts from the DCI headquarters conducted scene reconstruction and transferred the remains to Nairobi City Funeral Home for forensic examination, preservation, and post-mortem analysis. To date, none of the bodies has been positively identified, and no relatives have come forward to claim the remains. Investigations remain ongoing under the DCI Homicide Unit to establish the identities of the deceased and bring those responsible to justice. B, the identities and status of investigations into the matter of the 2 bodies found dumped at River Kangiga in May 2026. Honorable Speaker, the first body, that of an identified adult male, was recovered on 28th April 2026 beneath Tia Bridge. The body bore visible injuries and was preserved pending identification and postmortem examination. On 24th of May 2026, a second decapitated and decomposed body of an identified adult female was recovered, concealed in bushes along the Tia River. Police investigations, assisted by a police canine unit, subsequently recovered the missing head. A pair of pliers believed to have been used during the commission of the offense was recovered and secured as an exhibit. Both investigations were taken over by the DCI Homicide Unit. On 16th of May 2026, the investigating team, accompanied by a forensic team from DCI headquarters, attended the autopsy exercise of the 6 unknown bodies at Nairobi City Funeral Home conducted by Dr. Johannes Owuor, the chief government pathologist, who opined the cause of death for each body to be as follows. Body of identification number, MW/body 1/24/5/2026, cause of death, unascertained due to decomposition. Body number 2/25/5 of 2026, cause of death, ligature strangulation. Body number 3/9/6 of 2026, cause of death, head injury due to blunt force trauma. Body number 4/09/6/2026 is ligature strangulation. Body number 5/9/6 of 2026, cause of death, head injury. Body number 6/24/5/2026, cause of death, head injury due to blunt force trauma. DNA and toxicology samples were collected from all 6 bodies and forwarded to government chemists for analysis, investigation remain ongoing. C, the status of investigation into the disappearance of Mr. Gumau Kianga reported at Mwingi Police Station by Robi number 29/4/11 of 2024 and steps taken to establish his whereabouts. Honorable Speaker, on the November 2024 Mr. Muli Kianga reported the disappearance of his son, Mr. Ngumbao Kianga, at Mwingi Police Station by Robi number 29/4/11 of 2024. He reported that his son, a boda operator from Lundi Village, Mui location, Mwingi East Sub-County, Kitui County, had received a phone call on 3rd November 2024 from an identified individual requesting transport service. On the morning of 4th of November 2024, Mr. Ngumbao Kianga left home at approximately 6 a.m. in the morning about his motorcycle to attend to the purported client, but failed to return home. Efforts by the family members to reach him were unsuccessful, prompting the missing person report to the police. Investigations were immediately commenced and a missing person signal circulated nationally. Investigations led to the arrest of one suspect, Joseph Ngui, whom a SIM card associated with the missing person was recovered and secured as an exhibit. A second suspect, Florence Mavengi Malombe, was arrested on 6 February 2025, and mobile phone believed to be of evidential value was recovered from a residence at Lundi Center. Joyce Kitondo Mutembi, who was identified as the last person to have communicated with the missing person and the alleged client who requested transport services, was also arrested on 7 February 2025. The three suspects were presented before court under miscellaneous application number 17 and 18 of 2025, where custodial orders were granted for their detention at Kitui Central Police Station for 10 days to facilitate investigations, including the acquisition of our call data records from the relevant mobile service providers. Upon expiry of the custodial period, the suspects were released after the miscellaneous applications were concluded, as the requested call data records had not yet been availed. The matter was subsequently scheduled for mention on 26th of October 2025, when the court was informed that one of the suspects, Joyce Kitondo Mutemi, had passed away and had already been buried, a fact that was confirmed through production of a burial permit by her son. Investigations into the disappearance of Ngumbao Kianga remain ongoing. His whereabouts have not yet been established, and the matter remains pending before the court. Status of investigations into the matter of Ms. Wilfred Kanya. Honorable Speaker, on 12th of May 2026, at approximately 6:30 a.m., Mr. Cyrus Mbwenyi Mwangangi reported at the Kithioko Police Station by Ropi number 06/12/05/2026 that he had discovered the lifeless body of his girlfriend, Ms. Wilfred Kanya, at Kithioko River. Police officers from Masinga Police Station promptly visited the scene at Kithioko River in Masinga Sub-County, Machakos County, where...
How much longer, Kapondi?
It is a lengthy statement, Mr. Speaker.
Can you paraphrase it? It's too long.
Yeah, it is too long. So let me just give the highlights of it. The post-mortem examination conducted on the body, Mr. Speaker, on 20th of 2026 by Dr. Vita Christopher concluded that the cause of death was strangulation, secondary to blunt force trauma and neck compression, findings consistent with assault. The deceased mobile phone recovered at the scene was subjected to forensic examination analysis, and it established that the incoming and outgoing communication prompting investigation to request call data records from the relevant mobile service provider. The results are pending. The matter remains under active investigation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the measures taken by the relevant security agencies to enhance patrol, surveillance, intelligence gathering, and community engagement, several interventions to strengthen security within Mwingi Central have been implemented, including the National Police Service has strengthened both foot and mobile patrols to deter criminals while maintaining a heightened police presence in key areas and other vulnerable occasions. Two, the National Police Service has circulated the Fichua Kwa DCI toll-free hotline and encouraged members of the public to report incidents and share intelligence anonymously with assurance of confidentiality and safety of whistleblowers. 3, community policing committees are being revitalized to strengthen collaboration between law enforcement agencies and local communities. This initiative promotes real-time investigation, information sharing, and enable quicker responses to suspicious activities and emerging threats. 4, regular public forums and consultative meetings are being conducted. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the long-term measures being put in place to restore public confidence, ensure justice for the affected families, and prevent similar incidences. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry continues to implement long-term reforms, including enhancing transparency through regular public communication on progress of investigation, while safeguarding the integrity of criminal proceedings. Secondly, strengthening accountable, people-centered policing anchored on the rule of law, professionalism, and respect for human rights. 3, continuous capacity building and specialized training of investigations to improve investigation effectiveness. And finally, leveraging on modern technology, including digital case management systems, electronic occurrence box, CCTV integration, and digital tools to enhance accountability, evidence management, and operational efficiency. Honorable Speaker, we appreciate the concerns raised by the Honorable Member and wishes to assure this House that every effort is being made to establish the identities of the deceased persons, apprehend those responsible for these heinous crimes, and ensure that justice is served. The Ministry remains committed to strengthening security in Mwingi Central constituencies and across the country through sustained collaboration with all stakeholders. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mulyonge, you've heard that long, winding statement.
Yes,
The long and short of it.
Honorable Speaker,
hold on, Mulyonge.
the long and short of that statement.
Mulyonge, Skiza. The matter is in court, right? Kapondi, do you say the people have been arraigned in court?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the matter is
So
before the
whatever
court.
clarifications you wish to have should not prejudice the court proceedings.
Honorable Speaker, there are 3 issues. It's only one in court.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
So, Honorable Speaker, the long and short of that statement is that it's not factual. It's not factual at all.
Challenge him.
It's not factual. Reason because, number one, Mr. Speaker, these bodies were exhumed in June. And from that statement, those bodies have not been identified who they are from what you have said. And that is 3 months ago, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, also, we do not know because from the community, nobody has claimed those bodies. It means those bodies were transported from elsewhere to Mwingi. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, we do not know how those bodies were transported to be buried in the town center, where we have roadblocks along the road. Finally, Mr. Speaker, we do not know who committed those crimes. Nothing has happened. That is on the mass graves. On the matter of Gumbau Kianga, the matter is in court. But Mr. Speaker, the family is not updated. They are not aware whether the matter is in court because it is the family who brought the matter to me. So the DCI, the IO, does not brief the family. That is where the problem is, Mr. Speaker, sir. On the matter of Winfred Kenya, who was murdered, the report, the statement says that corn data were taken for analysis. And the police are waiting for the report of the analysis. Mr. Speaker, this is 3 months ago. How can the police be waiting for analysis of corn data for 3 months? This is something that can be done in less than a week from my previous experience. So there must be something that is not right, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
they are saying that they have taken action. The police in Mwingi have taken action to involve the communities. And they have said, they have shared Fichua kwa DCI hotline number. If as the area member of parliament, I'm not aware that there is a hotline that has been circulated by the DCI in Mwingi, who else is aware? If I'm not aware myself. Number two, they have said,
You have asked 5 questions.
They have said they have established community committees. They are not there. They are not community committees in Mwingi town. And they also
Can you
say
respond to that?
they are holding public barazas. The police are holding public barazas. Where? Can they produce evidence where they have held public barazas? They don't. The police in Mwingi town do not work with the communities and the local leaders, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Honorable Kapondi.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, maybe for the benefit of the member, on Fichua kwa DCI toll-free hotline, I can read it to him so that he can write it down and maybe inform his constituents. The hotline number is 0800 722 203. So my colleague, you can note that down. And secondly, these cases are still very active and the files are open. Due diligence has to be done when investigations are ongoing, Mr. Speaker. You cannot just hurry because you want to satisfy the interests of a member for other reasons. So the files are open, the investigations are still ongoing. So the member of parliament from Mwingi Central should be patient and wait for the conclusion of the investigation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next, do you have the response to Pareo?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I have a response.
How long is it?
It is long, but I'll try to
Paraphrase it.
Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, the member of parliament for Narok North requested for a response regarding to the security situation at Rose Farm. And the service wishes to respond as follows. The circumstances that led to the current insecurity and violence at Rose Farm, bordering Otokurto location in Narok North constituency, including a record of the legal ownership of the farm and the history of the dispute. On 6th of May 2026 at around 14:30 hours, Mr. Davidson Chesaina, a manager at Rose Farm, made a report at Mount Narok Police Station by OB number 12/6/5 of 2026 that a group of about 30 youths armed with crude weapons, including pangas and other offensive weapons, invaded the farm while claiming ownership. During the incident, invaders intimidated farm workers before setting ablaze 3 semi-permanent residential houses occupied by employees. Pursuant to the report, police officers immediately swung into action and they secured and processed the scene. The assailants fled upon noticing the arrival of the officers. Preliminary investigations established that the houses, together with the household property of unknown value, were completely destroyed by fire. Several persons of interest were summoned, interviewed, and their statements recorded. Investigations led to the arrest of 4 suspects, Mr. Speaker, namely Evans Kibios Tagi, Frederick Saruni Cole, Victor Barsamet Tagi, and George Murundoi Yengo. The suspects were released on cash bail pending the conclusion of the investigation. The investigations further established that Rose Farm is associated with a long-standing dispute concerning the ownership and occupation of LR number 8679/2, measuring approximately 716 acres. The issue was escalated by a local leader who is alleged to have held a meeting with the management of the farm, alleging that there was an agreement between the ADC management and the locals to have the land be shared equally, but with no evidence of any written documentation. Further, the locals were incited by claims that the government was planning to settle IDPs at Rose Farm without consulting them, despite the assertion that the land is ancestral. Consequently, they demanded allocation of 50% of the approximately 716 acres comprising the ADC farm, failure to which they threatened to prevent the tilling of the land and the harvesting of potato seeds. The Sub-County Security Committee of Narok, North, and Njoro held a consultative meeting with local community members to de-escalate tension and prevent further escalation of the dispute, while the relevant government agencies work towards resolving the land ownership dispute. The matter remains pending under investigations. 2, on measures currently in place to restore law and order, the National Police has put in place measures to prevent further escalation as follows: increased deployment of police to the affected area, intensified security patrols and surveillance within the ADC farm, conducted intelligence-led operations to identify and apprehend all persons involved in the violence, continued monitoring of the security situation to prevent recurrence of similar incidences. Regarding of excessive use of force by police officers, the NPS reiterates that all police operations are conducted strictly in compliance with the Constitution of Kenya, the NPS Act, and the National Police Service standing orders governing the use of force. Any claims of police misconduct are subjected to investigations through the established internal accountability mechanism and the relevant independent oversight institutions where applicable. On the long-term interventions, the service has put in place a number of measures to permanently resolve the dispute, hold those responsible for violence and destruction accountable, and guarantee lasting peace and security in Rose Farm and the surrounding areas. The matter in question relates to a long-standing dispute concerning the ownership and occupation of the land, measuring approximately 716 acres. The service has appealed to NLC to address the underlying issues surrounding land ownership claims and the adjudication process. The NPS has further enhanced security within the affected areas to prevent a recurrence of similar incidences while the dispute is being addressed by the relevant government agencies, including intensified intelligence collection to detect, deter, and disrupt any planned unlawful activities, increased police deployment, and the sustained patrols to maintain law and order. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, the County Security Intelligence Committee has convened several security meetings in the area, which has restored peace, stability, and normalcy in the area. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Pareo. Judy Pareo, Mama. Give Honorable Pareo the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to respond to the questions. And I just want to say that the questions have not been answered because, one, my people were not armed. They were found in their own houses, villages, at 6, and nobody gave a notice of any issue. So there was a lot of confrontation and the shootings, and the police moved people left and right without explaining them why they were there and why they were shooting. And then there was a lot of force that was used to cultivate the land. So my people are still waiting for the answers to the ownership of the land because we still don't know, and we don't know why they were using force, and there was nobody that was refusing them the opportunity if they had a right. So to me, I think the question have not been answered well. Thank you.
Kaponde.
This question has been exhaustively answered. In fact, what we are waiting for is the NLC to go into the matter. But as far as these people getting armed with crude weapons, it was a very clear case. So, my honorable colleague, what I wish to advise is you can consult so that we can discuss this matter further.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leave it there, Judith. Irene Mayaka. Hi, how are you? Question stayed to another day. That's the end of questions, sorry, statements. Next. Hold, I acknowledge the schools. In the Speaker's Gallery, honorable members, we have Holy Trinity Girls Senior School from Kapenguria, West Pokot. We have Sitam Schools from Kisumu, Central Kisumu. In the public gallery, we have Kenyan School from Bomachoge, Borabu, Kisii. Nibs College from Juja, Kiambu. Olmeosh School from Kilgoris, Narok. Olongolin School from Kilgoris, Narok. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Next.
Order number 8.
Hold on. Member for Bomachoge? Yes.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Take less than a minute. We have so many schools in the gallery.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, it's a pleasure to take the mic to welcome Kenyan Junior Academy to this Parliament. I'm sure it's a surreal moment for them. I would like to wish them as they walk around and ask questions around what this Parliament is about. I want to wish them very well. I want to say how proud I am of the work that they continue to do in their academics, and also welcome the other schools that have accompanied them to this Parliament. I wish them well as they travel back. I thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Next.
Order number 8. The Business Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 51 of 2024. Question to be put.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 8, which is the Business Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 51 of 2024, be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. If those of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to various laws and for connected purposes.
Next.
Order number 9, the Competition Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2026. Question to be put.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 9, which is the Competition Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2026, be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Competition Act and for connected purposes.
Next.
Order number 10, motion Second, report of the status of reports on petitions and resolutions. Mover to reply.
Chairperson, Committee on Implementation. Rafael Wanjala. I thought I heard him talking from the back there. Can somebody search, capture, and bring Rafael Wanjala to the house? I saw him here. Before we get to Wanjala, allow me to acknowledge in the public gallery Lakewood School from Rongo, Migori, Chakim Baptist School from Buri, Meru, St. Scholastica School from Moibenu, Uasin Gishu, Legacy Schools from Kiminini, Trans Nzoia. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to Parliament. Order number 10. Majority Leader, where is Rafael Wanjala?
Honorable Speaker, I have not seen Raphael today.
Any member of the Implementation Committee?
Any member of this committee?
Any member of the Implementation Committee?
Who is the Vice Chair?
In the House?
Implementation? Who is the Vice Chair?
Okay, we'll proceed to the next order.
Next one.
Order number 11.
Order number 11, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, will you be upstanding?
Order members, we are now in the Committee of the Whole House for the County Government's Additional Allocation Bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2026.
Clause 3 and 4.
I propose the question that clause 3 and 4 be part of the bill. There is no amendment. I put the question that clauses 3 and 4 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Chair, Budget and Appropriations Committee, you have some amendments. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I propose that clause 5 be amended. A, in subclause 2, by deleting paragraph C, 1 and 2 deleting paragraph 6, and B, and in subclause B, and in B in subclause 3, by deleting the words, deleting from 1 to 8. I just want to summarize, Honorable Chair, by stating that these deletions, the deletions are, we are deleting KIPES allocations, because KIPES allocations were redirected for equipping of the same. So we had removed them from this bill. And 2, we are deleting paragraph F that allocated resources for settlement of arbitrary award to the county government of Meru. So these 2 deletions is the reason we are making these amendments. Just in summary. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable members, I therefore propose the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed by the chair. If you intend to speak to these, use the intervention. Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I wanted to support this amendment. Just as my chairman has said, the reason why there is this amendment is because the money is not in the budget for the new structures. So I support.
Very well. I now put the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 5 is amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
These have no amendments. I propose the question that the clauses 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
First schedule.
I propose the question that the first schedule be part of the bill, be the schedule of the bill. I now put the question that the first schedule be the schedule of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Second schedule.
I propose the question that the schedule be the schedule, but that the second schedule be the schedule of the bill. It has some amendments, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Essentially, what we are doing here, Chair, is to replace the schedule so that the new schedule reflects the changes that we made when we deleted the KIPES allocations as well as the allocations to the Meru County government. Thank you.
I therefore propose the question that the second schedule be, as amended, be the schedule of the bill. I therefore put the question that the second schedule, as amended, be the schedule of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Third schedule.
I propose the question that the third schedule be the schedule of the bill. There is a proposed amendment.
Honorable Chair, I propose that the bill be amended by deleting the third schedule and replacing therefore with the new schedule. The new schedule provides for the changes to the donor funds that align with the budget and reflecting the grant and loan components. Honorable Chair, we had separated funds that were meant funds that are grants and funds that are loans. So what we are doing is basically to align it so that it reflects the changes. Thank you.
Very well. I propose the question that the third schedule be amended as proposed by the chair. No interest. I therefore put the question that the third schedule be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that the third schedule as amended be the schedule of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Long title.
I propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. I put the question that the title be the title of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. There is a proposed amendment. Chairperson BA back committee. Give Honorable Atandi the microphone.
I propose that the clause 1 of the bill be amended by inserting the words and shall come into force upon publication in the Gazette immediately after the words County Government's Additional Allocations Act 2026. Honorable Chair, the intention here is that there's a provision in Article 116 of the Constitution that a specific date of commencement be provided. That date be specific and be provided. And because, Honorable Chair, this bill contains funds for confirmation of UHC staff, we want to make sure that immediately this bill is signed into law, it takes effect immediately, so that these workers can be immediately confirmed. Thank you.
It's okay. Very well. I therefore propose the question that clause 1 be amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 1 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 1 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, we have come to the end of that committee. Mover to move reporting.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2026, up and its approval thereof with amendments, and to seek leave to sit again.
No, you end it at with amendments. Take it again.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2026, up and its approval there with amendments.
Very well. Honorable members, I therefore put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the County Government's Additional Allocation Bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2026, and its approval thereof with amendments. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Honorable members, Madam Speaker.
Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report to the Committee of the whole House has considered the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2026, and approved the same with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report I also request the Honorable Makali Mulu to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Makali Mulu. Give Honorable Makali the microphone.
Yeah. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I do second. Thank you.
Honorable members, I therefore propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Do I put the question? I put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover? Move that reading. You're not done yet. Honorable Atandi.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to move that the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2026 be now read at that time.
Appoint a seconder.
And request the Honorable Makali move to second.
Honorable Makali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I do second the reading of the third reading of the bill.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2026, be now read a third time. Member for Seme.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to support the third reading, but I would like to make 2 points. One, Madam Speaker, this is a bill that comes for additional allocation. It comes, it goes, the Senate works on it after we have done the budget. But I've noted that even things that have actually not been removed or been changed in the budget do still come, and we have to make amendments as the chair of the committee was doing. And I think this is so basic that if the process are coordinated, what has been removed from the budget should not appear. So I think next time, maybe Senate should be more careful. Number 2, Madam Speaker, this particular additional allocation is so important as regards the UHC workers. We hope that now the counties and the governors will now actually absorb these people, because this is the second time this money is being put and the process is not being completed. So I call upon the governors to actually this time settle the matter of UHC workers. That I support.
CNN.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to say that I support this bill, but Madam Speaker, I just raise the concern the time it has come when we have already done the budget. But I really want to request the governors to be serious. Madam Speaker, most of the people, they are going to hospitals and they are being told to buy drugs, to buy even things to do vaccination. Most of the hospitals are totally under-equipped, and even they don't have even basic drugs. Madam Speaker, I want to support, but still, this bill concerning community health promoters must be taken very seriously, and so that the health of our people can actually be catered for. With those few remarks, I support.
Funyula. Honorable members, I beg that we do not open the debate. This is third reading.
No. Honorable Speaker, I also stand here to support the bill, and I want to make 2 or 3 remarks. Number 1, we need to see value for the money being allocated under conditional allocation. We need to see value for money. For this money and shareable revenue, still remains a challenge. The footprint of devolution cannot be seen, cannot be discerned compared to other funds that have been around. But more important, Honorable Speaker, there is a matter that is very critical that we need to address as a country. You are aware that most vocational training centers are devolved function. So they're supposed to be funded and supported by the county governments. In many counties, Honorable Speaker, those vocational training centers are actually on their deathbed because the governors or the county governments do not allocate resources to even purchase training materials. Probably in the next cycle of budgeting, we might have to strip some money from shared revenue, bring it to conditional grant so that we manage to ensure. And that's what Honorable Speaker, the government of Linda Mwananchi will address this matter because it affects the local Mwananchi. Thank you.
Chepalungu.
Yeah.
Honorable members, dreams are free.
Yeah, thank you.
Member for Chepalungu.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to as well give my input on the bill that is before the floor of the House. And even though the bill is coming immediately after the passage of the budget, this is critical to the caregivers back at home. These persons, Honorable Speaker, give primary health care to the common Mwananchi. It is very critical that now the governors have a leeway and now they can proceed to do recruitment and to enumerate these particular persons, for they are playing a very critical role in our society. And for that case, Honorable Speaker, I support. Thank you.
Wamboka.
I want to support a bill that Honorable Atandi is putting to this House. But, Madam Speaker, we need to go back to the drawing board and ask ourselves, where did the rain start beating us as a country, Honorable Speaker? We've been pumping a lot of money, we've been appropriating a lot of money into county governments. But, Honorable Speaker, very little is happening. We as a House must now push for accountability, Madam Speaker. Most of the hospitals in county governments do not have drugs. Workers are not remunerated well, Honorable Speaker. We have CHPs that our honorable members alluded to. They are not being paid. Where do these governors take these monies, Madam Speaker? Virtually nothing is happening in these county governments, Madam Speaker. We just see governors roaming around with a very huge convoys, Madam Speaker, being busybodies at the expense of the common Mwananchi. So we want to encourage county governments. We want to encourage governors. Madam Speaker, you move around some schools, the ECDs. There are no classrooms, Madam Speaker. Where I come from, in my constituency, there is a primary school called Namasa Primary School. There is no ECD classes, and yet the county receives a lot of money.
Member for Endebess. Member for Endebess, there is a point of order.
Really?
Yes, there is a point of order.
I didn't want to interrupt my colleague, the Honorable Wamboka, but I don't know whether he was describing my Governor Natembeya, because what he said exactly fits my governor. Now, I don't know what he has with my governor that he can describe him completely in the floor of the House as roaming around with a fleet of vehicles and not doing any development in the county and in the Linda Mwananchi team.
Wamboka, you have 1 minute. Wind up.
Yeah, actually, on the contrary, there's a poll that has been released today which puts Governor Natembeya as the second best governor in the country. And yes, I want to admit that Governor Natembeya is our leader, one of our leaders in Linda Mwananchi.
What is out of order? Member for Molo.
Can you protect me, Speaker?
No, point of orders are allowed by the standing orders. Only that they need to be points of order.
Honorable Speaker, I raise on point of order on statement of facts that the honorable member should state which report. Is it the Auditor General's report? Is it the Control of Budget's report? And he must table that report before this House that is quoting, having ranking some governor who the honorable member for Independence described as just the only achievement is walking around in a fleet of vehicles, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Amboka, you have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, if we were to go into describing these governors, a lot of governors who are not doing anything, they are on the other side of the aisle. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, it is encouraging, they are in government. They are in this Tumbo government, the Honorable Speaker. And that is why, when we take over government under President Edwin Sifuna, we are going to ensure that services to Mwananchi are rendered in time and quality services, Honorable Speaker. And if you look at our side, the governors we have, we are proud of Governor Orengo. We are proud of Governor Natembea. We are proud of Governor Irungu Kangata. They are doing a good job, Honorable Speaker. They are working for this country. We are asking for accountability from governors.
Do you want to be informed by CNN?
I can't be informed by people who rely on their stomachs, Madam Speaker. We can't. We cannot. So we want to implore on governors, Madam Speaker. So, jokes aside, we want accountability. We want accountability. We want services. The other day, they are fighting us over roads money, Madam Speaker. And when you go to our villages, the roads that are being done are done by Kera. Now, you ask yourself, where the money we give governors, where do they take this money, Madam Speaker? So I want to support...
Mudhoni, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, I'm shocked that the member is talking of governors, and that means he is putting all of them in the same blanket. Let him be specific and talk about a governor who is misappropriating, who is not doing the right thing.
Honorable Dorothy,
including...
Honorable Dorothy, that is a point of debate. Because I heard the member very well, he has singled out some, but made a general comment on governors, on their allocation to county government, which is very in order. But you have taken too much time, it's not second reading.
As I finish, Honorable Speaker, I think we'll have to induct the Honorable Member.
Do not go there. Honorable Amboka, you and Honorable Mudhoni are serving in this house for the first time. You are the same level. Please do not cast aspersions.
Clearly, I'm a first timer, but you know I'm a ranking member, so that's okay.
Unless the meaning of
Madam
ranking
Speaker,
has changed, Honorable Amboka, you can make your point without casting aspersions.
Honorable Speaker, she's a very good friend of mine. That is actually on a light note. Madam Speaker, the point remains, can the governors be accountable for the monies that are appropriated into counties? That is the point we are putting to this floor. And it cuts across all governors. Thank you, and I support.
Honorable members, allow me to put the question on this. Honorable members, I put the question, which is that the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 8 of 2026, be now read a third time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, before we go to the next order, allow me to recognize in the speakers gallery this afternoon, Entanda girls from Kitutu Chache constituency, Kisii County, Itierio girls from Bonchari constituency, Kisii County, and St. Peter's Academy from Kitutu Chache South, Kisii County. We welcome you to observe the proceedings of the House. I have been requested by the Honorable Charles to not only, Honorable Clive, not only to welcome from your constituency, but all of them.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I was wondering who Honorable Charles is. Honorable Speaker, let me take this opportunity to welcome the young boys and girls who are visiting the House to get to understand and have a feel of what takes place here. And also
for the young ladies who have come here. Honorable Speaker, they're even lucky to find that today on the Speaker's chair is a well-educated lady who has grown the ranks to become a Speaker in this House. It tells you that you do not have any limits as a girl child, and you can also make it not only to sit in this House, but also to be a Speaker in this House. We welcome you, and we wish you a very educative trip while you are around. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, before we go to the next order, allow us to finish on order number 11 on third reading. Clerk.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the additional allocations to county governments for the 2026-2027 financial year, the responsibilities of the national government and county governments pursuant to such allocations and for connected purposes.
Next.
Order number 12, motion, report on the audited financial statements of selected state corporations in the roads and transport sector. Debate.
The debate was ongoing. I don't know whether there was a member on the floor. Is it your Honorable Kosing? This is yours? It's your committees? If there was no one on the floor, I see some intent. I'm not sure whether it's on this. Member for Jomvu? No, not in the House. Rindikiri, are you on this? You're not even aware which one, so no. Honorable Atandi? No. Kimilu? Not on this? Yes. That's the interest I have. If there is none interested on this, I'll call the mover to reply.
Honorable Madam Speaker, I beg to reply. And in replying, Honorable Madam Speaker, I thank you. I also thank honorable members of my committee, that is PIC, Commercial Affairs and Energy, for really burning the midnight oil, Madam Speaker, in going through all the parastatus which we did. And I presented here, we went through more than 20 years of audit with my committee, Honorable Madam Speaker, with a lot of queries. So I want to thank my members for volunteering. You know, last Parliament, Madam Speaker, when I was encouraging you to come to the House, and you have not paid me consultancy fees.
Is that to the Speaker, Honorable Kosing?
And I have not been paid consultancy fees, Honorable Madam Speaker. I have to put my invoice next week because I did a successful job. But aside of that, Madam Speaker, when I was chairman of transport, transport used to be an interesting committee. PIC is almost like a daily job, you know. But I thank my members for actually sacrificing for the country. And therefore, Madam Speaker, with that, those few remarks, I beg to reply.
Honorable members, allow me then to put the question that this House adopts the report of the Public Investments Committee on Commercial Affairs and Energy on its examination of the audited financial statements of selected state corporations in the roads and transport sector laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 14th October, 2025. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 13, motion, report of the Kenyan delegation to the 151st Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union, IPU and related meetings.
Who's moving this? Which member is moving this? Honorable Millie Odhiambo, not in the House. It shall be deferred. Next.
Order number 14, the Books and Newspapers Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 47 of 2025, second reading.
This is the chairperson, Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library Committee. Are you in the House? Epuyo Nanok?
Yes,
are you
Madam,
ready?
Yes,
okay.
Madam Speaker, and I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to move this amendment bill. Madam Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Select Committee on Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library on its consideration of the report on the Books and Newspapers Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 47 of 2025, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 18th June 2026. Honorable Speaker, the Books and Newspapers Amendment Bill 2025 was published on 16th of October 2025 and read for the first time in the National Assembly on Wednesday, the 11th of February this year, 2026, and was subsequently committed to the Committee on Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library for consideration and reporting to the House, pursuant to Standing Order number 127. Madam Speaker, the object of this bill is to amend the Books and Newspapers Act, an act that was enacted during the colonial period in the history of Kenya, particularly so on 1st of July, 1960. And so it is an old act. And this amendment, Madam Speaker, therefore, the object is to require the deposit of published works in the Library of the Parliament of Kenya. This is the main reason that this amendment bill is before this House today. Honorable Speaker, permit me to highlight the key provisions in the bill. The bill seeks to amend Section 6 of the Books and Newspapers Act, Cap 111, to ensure the following. That one, a publisher of a book printed or published in Kenya delivers within 14 days after publication of the book at their own expense, Madam Speaker, to the Clerk of the Senate, in addition to the Registrar of Books and Newspapers, such copies of the book not exceeding 3 books. That is the first requirement, and that is the major amendment, Madam Speaker. And there is a reason why we are talking of the Clerk of the Senate, that being the CEO of the Parliamentary Service Commission, Madam Speaker. Upon receipt of a copy of a book delivered under this section, the Clerk of the Senate shall acknowledge receipt in writing to the publisher that the copies of books delivered to the Registrar and the Clerk of the Senate are kept for record purposes or otherwise dealt with in such a manner or place as may be deemed necessary. That a publisher of a book, in addition to the delivery of copies of books under this section, Madam Speaker, submits a digital copy of the book to the Registrar, the Kenya National Library Services, the Kenya National Archives, and the Clerk of the Senate. That requirement, Madam Speaker, is so that whatever records that are being kept or that are being delivered are in vogue on this digital space that we live currently. That Section 6, 14 and 17 of the Books and Newspapers Act, Cap 111, are amended by deleting any reference to the words the colony and substituting, therefore, the word Kenya. I think that is self-explanatory, Madam Speaker. The act was enacted during the colonial times in the 1960, and therefore, as we handle that act now, Kenya is an independent nation, and therefore the reason for us wanting to refer to Kenya and not the colony. Honorable Speaker, the committee undertook public participation, as it is the requirement of all legislative processes, that as we enact laws, we must hear from the public, we must engage the public, and we should make the public participate in matters that concern them. And this was done on the 14th of February through an advert in the print media, 14th of February 2026, requesting for comments and submissions from the public and memorandums as per the Article 118(1)(b) of the Constitution and the Standing Order 127, Part 3. Honorable Speaker, the following gave their memorandum, or they appeared before the committee in support or against the provisions in the bill. The Registrar General, the Kenya National Archives and Documentation Services, the Kenya National Library Services, the Kenya Publishers Association, the Kenya Media Council, the Directorate of ICT and Library Services in Parliament, in the Parliamentary Service Commission, the National Gender and Equality Commission, and there was one gentleman, Mr. Collins Odhiambo Lucy. They are the ones that appeared before the committee during this public participation engagement, and they gave their views on the bill. Honorable Speaker, we considered the bill, we listened to the public, bring out their comments or their memorandums, and the committee made the following observations, Madam Speaker. One, the proposed amendment requires all publishers of books to submit physical and digital copies of their publications to the Kenya National Archives and the Parliament of Kenya, in addition to the Registrar of Books and Newspapers and the Kenya National Library Services. Madam Speaker, that observation was made by the committee based on the views that were given by those that appeared before us. And so we introduced two new recipients of copies of these books. That is the Kenya National Archives and the Parliament of Kenya. In the original act, the two that were given to receive these copies, Madam Speaker, were the Registrar of Books and Newspapers and the Kenya National Library Services only. So this is an observation, an improvement that we are making on this act. Two, Madam Speaker, that the digital copies of books to be submitted to the Registrar of Books and Newspapers, the Kenya National Library Service, the Parliament of Kenya Library, and the National Archives should be in an accessible format, should be in a format that can be read, that can be accessed easily, and in the form that we are currently applying, that is digital, that is the digital aspect of these books, the copies of these books. Appropriate systems, Madam Speaker, should be developed and legal frameworks to support the digital archiving and technical solutions and partnerships with relevant ICT stakeholders. Again, this is an observation that the committee made based on the views that were delivered. That Section 3 of the Public Archives and Documentation Services Act, Cap 19, that establishes the Kenya National Archives and Documentation Service to provide for the preservation of public archives and public records. And Madam Speaker, the public archives and public records, when you see the role of Parliament, or actually the role of the Kenya Parliament, we have records, we keep legislative records for posterity. If you want any information on the Kenyan Parliament, you will get it in the record of Parliament. And this is why we have introduced Parliament as a repository place for purposes of published works by Kenyans, Madam Speaker. And this is going to improve the available materials for references in Parliament for parliamentarians and whoever else would like to access information that is historical in nature, that are legislative in nature in the Parliament of Kenya. Madam Speaker, many jurisdictions like the UK, South Africa, South Korea, and even Singapore designate parliamentary or legislative libraries as legal deposit repositories. And we are here by asking or requiring by this amendment that the Parliament of Kenya Library becomes one of those repositories of public legislative records, public knowledge or information and publications for purposes of record keeping. The Parliament of Kenya Library, Madam Speaker, serves as the official custodian of all documents produced by Parliament, which largely are legislative records and government publications. It is therefore important to expand its scope beyond Parliament and government publications, and therefore the reason for this amendment, Madam Speaker. The entire Books and Newspapers Act and the Public Archives and Documentation Services Act should be reviewed to align them with the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and the contemporary realities in light of significant developments in publishing, information management, and digital dissemination. Madam Speaker, this is what we are bringing forth to this chamber and to this house, that they adopt these amendments for purposes of making the Kenya Parliament a repository of knowledge for the works that are published in this country. The committee, Madam Speaker, is grateful to the officers of the Speaker and the Clerk of the National Assembly for the logistical and technical support accorded to it during the consideration of this bill. And I wish to express my appreciation, and sincere appreciation at that, to the honorable members of the committee for their resilience and commitment to duty, which made the consideration of this bill successful. And may I also, on behalf of the committee, thank the members of the public and stakeholders who submitted memoranda on this bill. Their views informed the content that we have hereby presented. Honorable Speaker, the Select Committee on Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library, having considered the bill and facilitated public participation on the bill, recommends that the House approves the bill with amendments. Honorable Speaker, I hereby beg to move and request Honorable John Chege, my Vice Chair, to second the motion. I thank you.
Member for Limuru.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to second the Books and Newspaper Bill number 47 of 2025. Madam Speaker, as I do so, I once again want to emphasize as to the purpose of this bill, and that is to ensure that the Library of Parliament is lawfully given opportunity to make sure that the books and newspapers produced and registered in this country are deposited with our library. Madam Speaker, it has been said that the Act 111 refers to the colonial era, and it is time, Madam Speaker, that we looked afresh as to how best the new Act will deal with the matters of a developed Kenya since 1963. Madam Speaker, technology has changed. We know that today it's possible to produce and transmit the newspapers and the books through a modern technology. And we are saying that, in fact, in the way of transmission of the books for purpose of depositing with our library, that we should adopt a technology that will ensure that the publisher and the Parliament of the Library of Parliament is that they can be able to transmit in a way that can be received properly Madam Speaker, this parliament has become a popular destination. If you look at the gallery, Madam Speaker, you find the young people who have made this parliament a place to come and seek for information and knowledge. And Madam Speaker, parliament is the best or preferred destination. If you compare the Kenya National Library or the archives, we receive more of our students, foreign dignitaries to this house, and we must make sure that our library for Parliament is equipped with all the materials that are deposited with the rest of the other institutions to ensure that those who come to this Parliament, particularly the young people, that they can access some of the books that they cannot be able to get in their schools, or the newspapers that are not likely circulated in their schools. So, Madam Speaker, what this act is asking to do is to ensure that Parliament becomes a prime center of knowledge and disciplinary center for all the materials that we are talking about. We know, Madam Speaker, that this Parliament is an extension, has an extension over 290 constituencies, places where a lot happens. And it is our view that this library will also be able to receive materials which can be even stored within Parliament for the people who want to know more about our constituencies, that they can access those materials, whether they are reports, whether they are published books or newspapers, and that members would want to make sure that they are deposited with our library. So, Madam Speaker, we are asking that we change how our library has been performing. We give it a chance to make sure that we expand it. And we also provide technology, modern technology, to be able to store the materials that come, like digitizing the materials that we have and the ones that will be coming into our hands. Madam Speaker, the collaboration between us and Kenya Library Services and also the archives will also help us, Madam Speaker, to ensure that all the institutions that have responsibility of depositing these critical materials, that we can communicate and help each other to make sure that the public has access to information that is generated in this country. Madam Speaker, we have mentioned about the clerk of the Senate to be the contact person for Parliament, but we know, Madam Speaker, that the Parliamentary Service Commission, the clerk is, comes from the Senate. And we are saying that it will be the preferred point of contact for all the people who would want to bring the materials into this country. Madam Speaker, it is time for us as a country to recognize how far we have come and how much has been able to be produced in this country, that we do not know where it is kept, whether it's kept safely, and for the purpose of the generation today and for the future, it is important that this Parliament takes a role, and an important role, to ensure that we preserve the information that is generated in this country in a way that it can help generations to come. Madam Speaker, I support. Thank you. I second.
Very well. Honorable members, I therefore propose a question that the Books and Newspapers Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 47 of 2025, be now read a second time. Before I give members, allow me to recognize there is a lot of traffic in our galleries today, to recognize learners and teachers in the Speaker's Gallery from Kiaragana School in Runyenjes, Embu County, Lion School from Manyata, Embu County, Mombasa Kiongozi kutoka Changamwe, Mombasa. We welcome you to observe the proceedings of the House. Honorable KJ.
Madam Speaker, I thank you. And the good book tells us that in the beginning was the Word. And we are told that the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And this gives power to that thing that we refer to as spoken word or written word. And Madam Speaker, it says then that the word is for posterity. And so the word in Kenya cannot be stuck to colonial laws, laws that were made before even Kenya became a country. And so, Madam Speaker, I must laud the effort that is coming from this committee, and I must congratulate the committee chair and the committee vice chair, because the two of them have brought to the House a very necessary piece of legislation that updates the Newspapers and Publication Act to today, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, more importantly, this effort seeks to amend Section 6 of the Books and Newspapers Act, Cap 111. Madam Speaker, it means then that this was passed long before even Kenya was a country. And in fact, Madam Speaker, it has been sitting in our books referring to Kenya as a colony. So, Madam Speaker, very important thing that this legislative effort is doing is actually recognizing Kenya for the country that it is, not just as a republic, but also as a new republic after 2010 in this new constitution. So, Madam Speaker, I stand to support, because this effort brings the Books and Newspapers Act to the current times that we are in, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there is an effort by the committee to amend sections 6, 14, and 17 of the Books and Newspapers Act so that we delete any reference that refers to Kenya as a colony. We are not a colony, we are a republic, and in fact, a new republic, especially after 2010. Madam Speaker, the new act will be requiring for publishers to deposit their publications with the clerk of the Senate, and this shall be in addition to all the other submissions that have been made previously, submissions that go to the National Library, submissions that also go to these other entities, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the import of this cannot be understated. In their moving, the chairperson and the vice chair have said that there are jurisdictions that are already doing this. They have mentioned Singapore. They have mentioned the UK. Madam Speaker, I will have you know that even the Library of Congress falls under that category. And how do I know, Madam Speaker? It is because I am a publisher. I have written, but even more importantly, I have done audiovisual publication. And Madam Speaker, when we were doing the act, ridiculous, we got to learn that these libraries were seeking content from Kenya to see if they can be stored for posterity in their libraries. So a publication like Ridiculous already exists in the House of Congress in the US, Madam Speaker. What does that speak to our archiving capabilities as Africa? It tells us then there is a deposit of our knowledge in capitals far away from Nairobi. They're carrying our knowledge, our content. They're keeping it for posterity. That which we may not be finding value for in our country already has value in Western capitals far away from here, Madam Speaker. This act is now requiring that every publisher should submit not just a physical copy, but even a digital copy, Madam Speaker. I'm chairing the Committee on Communication, Information and Innovation, and Madam Speaker, I can tell you that beyond the physical publications, going into the future, the digital publications shall be of great import to readers and to populations that are coming up. And I'm glad to see learners in our galleries, Madam Speaker. And these learners will tell you that as much as they are reading books, they are also referring on digital publications for their studies and even for their entertainment. So, Madam Speaker, by just agreeing to these amendments, we are also looking into the future where we are able to preserve our publications, not only in the physical form, but also in the form that is required in this fourth industrial revolution, where Kenya is leading, especially in Africa, in our movement towards a new world, a digital world that speaks to the realities of today, Madam Speaker. And so I must commend the committee. Madam Speaker, if you were to preserve these at the National Library and preserve them at the National Archives, as we always do, Madam Speaker, you realize that the visits that we get as a parliament, even by learners, are way more than than the visits that are being made to the National Archives. And so, Madam Speaker, it becomes so important for this library to itself become an archive of knowledge in this republic, where we stand for the welfare of society and the just government of the people as a parliament. Then we must also be custodians of the knowledge of our people, Madam Speaker. And we know that the posterity of parliament is dependent on information. That, Madam Speaker, the old culture of every member referring to publications ahead of a debate will be brought back by us being able to make a more robust library within Parliament, Madam Speaker. But even more importantly, Madam Speaker, we are living in an era of great misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. And Madam Speaker, even the learners in the gallery can tell us that they are never able to distinguish between what is true and what is not true. Because when people publish on social media, when they publish online, they are not required to fact check. But by us having and domiciling information in libraries, Madam Speaker, then we shall be moving as a country to a place where even citizens will be making decisions that are informed. And Madam Speaker, this becomes critical when we are coming up to a year like next year, Madam Speaker. We know that countries have been burnt. We know that regimes have been pushed out of leadership, out of misinformation, Madam Speaker, where the population is fed with misinformation, and they end up believing the wrong information, and they end up rising up against their governments, Madam Speaker, even as we saw in this republic, Madam Speaker, in 2024, where people were saying that we are just about to pass a bill, and me and you knew that the provisions that were being spoken about out there were not in the bill that we were passing, Madam Speaker. So if we are going to move towards a new world, towards a new era of information, then our information, Madam Speaker, must be the correct information, and it must be domiciled in the right places, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I stand to support the move to amend the Books and Newspapers Act, Madam Speaker, for the reasons that I have given. And I have to say that we as Dagoretti South constituency are looking to also setting up a proper library at the Dagoretti South Empowerment Center and the constituent empowerment centers that we have built in Dagoretti, not only just for the information for our learners, but also fully well understanding that we've got learners who come from very hard places to study. Their homes are not conducive for study. And so, Madam Speaker, with the library, we shall be able to have our learners come and do their studies within the library so that, Madam Speaker, they are able to be informed, they are able to be knowledgeable, and more importantly, they are able to be good citizens of this country and good citizens of the world. So this is a move towards modernizing how we keep our knowledge, modernizing how we store our knowledge, but even more importantly, modernizing how we consume our knowledge. Madam Speaker, I stand to support, and I thank you for this pole position. Asante.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa KJ, na kukujuza tu na kukuunga mkono. Wiki iliyopita hili bunge liliweza kutembelewa na watoto wa shule na wanafunzi takriban 18,000, kukuonyesha vile wingi wa watoto hapa leo na hizo siku zimekuwa hapo awali. Nikubalie basi wabunge ni waweze kuwakaribisha kwenye kumbi wetu wa umma wanafunzi na walimu kutoka Memon Academy kule Mvita Mombasa, wanafunzi na walimu kutoka Al Miraj Academy kule Likoni Mombasa, wanafunzi na walimu kutoka Precious Hope School kule Kitutu Chache Kisii. Nitampa dakika moja mbunge wa Jomvu aweze kuwakaribisha sio wa Mombasa tu bali wale wote ambao wametutembelea.
Nashukuru Mheshimiwa Spika sana kwa kunipa nafasi hii kwa kukaribisha wanafunzi kutoka Memon kule Mvita, vile vile Likoni, na vile vile kuna wanafunzi ambao wametoka hapa sasa hivi kutoka Changamwe ambao wanajiita Mombasa Kiongozi Academy, na wanafunzi wa Kitutu Chache na wote wa Kenya, kwa sababu tukiwa bunge la kitaifa wanafunzi wote Mheshimiwa Spika ni wanafunzi wetu. Nataka kuchukua fursa hii kuambia wanafunzi wote, hapa ndipo ambapo tunatengeneza sheria, na hapa tukitengeneza sheria huwa tuna mwongozo ambao tunaongozwa na Madam Speaker ama Mr. Speaker. Kwa sasa naipeleka mjadala huu anaitwa Martha Wangare, Madam Speaker wetu, ambaye alitoka mbali. Madam huyu alikuwa Senate, amekuwa mbunge kule Gilgil. Hivi sasa wanaume wanapambana na yeye, lakini wanapata shida kumngoa. Kwa hivyo katika wanafunzi wengi ambao naona kutoka Likoni hapa, kutoka Memon hapa, na kutoka Kitutu Chache na sehemu nyingine, wasichana ndio naona ni wengi hapa. Mufuate nyayo za Madam Speaker, tuonekane kweli na sisi kuna wasichana wa tajriba ambao wanaweza kuonekana kufanya kazi nzuri. Na wale wavulana pia, kuna wanasiasa na viongozi kama vile Kiarie Mheshimiwa Dagoreti ambaye ametoka hapa sasa hivi, mufuate nyayo zake, na wale wa Mombasa pia musisahau kufuata nyayo za mbunge wa Jomvu ambaye ndio mimi. Kwa awamu 3 za bunge nimeingia hapa 2013, 2017, 2022, na kabla hapo nilikuwa kansela. Kwa hivyo na awamu 4 ni kuambia kwa lolote lawezekana kwa nguvu ya Mungu na bidii katika shule, muwe na discipline, na kesho na kesho kutwa tukiondoka sisi, nyinyi ndio tutakuwa mkitunga sheria hapa. Kwa hivyo na waomba mkirudi nyumbani muambie wazazi wenu kijana mwepesi Garange Dimabiori mzee Fulangenge mbunge wa Jomvu apigiwe kura tena mwaka 2027, na nyinyi karibuni, nkirudi mkaribishe tena hapa ndani ya bunge hili. Shukrani na Mungu atubariki.
Kijana mwepesi, asante. Sijui tukupe nafasi uendelee, lakini sababu ya muda wacha tukomee hapo. Nafikiri wamekusikia na wamekusikia vizuri. Nafasi nitamtoa kwa Mheshimiwa wa Kaiti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I want to stand and support the motion, Madam Speaker, because it's very important, Madam Speaker, to have a library in our parliament which can give knowledge to Kenyans, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I support this motion. I want to thank the owner of the motions for coming with a very brilliant and important motion at this given particular time, is Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, having this library equipped with the newspapers and the books, Madam Speaker, I know even these students who are coming to visit Parliament, they'll also be sparing time to visit the library and also get something and get knowledge from our library, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, I also want to encourage even all colleagues, because as members of Parliament, Madam Speaker, we also have a CDF kit. Madam Speaker, I think also with that kit with CDF, we can also do libraries in our constituencies, Madam Speaker, whereby we encourage our students, and also when the university students are on their or they are back at their constituencies, Madam Speaker, they can also visit, do their homework there, and also get knowledge from those libraries, Madam Speaker. I think it is very important because, Madam Speaker, in this country, we also need to make sure that the coming generation, they get well equipped with education, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, also, this will also help because, you know, the center of knowledge, Madam Speaker, in being in this parliament, Madam Speaker, is very important, Madam Speaker, because also these books, we also need to have, we also encourage writers, Madam Speaker, and some of us, Madam Speaker, in this parliament, they are good writers here who can give good reports, who can also write good books, and the newspapers of each and every government, Madam Speaker, because we know this parliament, now that in parliament, we also have we had 10th in parliament, 11th parliament, whereby each parliament has its own work, Madam Speaker. And it's also good to keep records, Madam Speaker. Because today, Madam Speaker, we also need to see what the 10th government did, what the 11th government did. And Madam Speaker, with all those ratings, Madam Speaker, I think it can also give us, when the members are joining this parliament, they can also know how to position themselves. They can also know how to work. They can also get a knowledge to know, to learn from other government, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I remember I saw a newspaper talking about the government when Kibaki was the president of this country, Madam Speaker. I was impressed to see the good work Kibaki did with the Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka as the Vice President, Madam Speaker. That's the work we need our generation. When my son becomes the member of parliament, or my son become a leader of this country, can also read and know that when Kimilu was a member of parliament, he did ABCD. That is very important, Madam Speaker. It's also good to know when the government has failed. Madam Speaker, we can see how the government has failed. Like now, Madam Speaker, if we have a newspaper or books writing about the government, like the current government, which is keep on dreaming, the government which are dreaming of taking people to Singapore. Madam Speaker, you know, our people would know this government was dreaming to take people to Singapore. And before they wake up again, they start dreaming again of Vision 2060. And Mr. Speaker, if you compare the government of the past government and the current government, you can see the government which delivered to the people of Kenya and the government which failed, Madam Speaker. So I think, Madam Speaker, this is a brilliant idea. And Madam Speaker, it is very important. Because when I was talking with my colleague, Honorable, my Vice Chair Mugabe, this morning, we are also discussing of how we can have records in this, for this government, for this parliament, Madam Speaker. And it is very important because I remember I was sharing with him and telling him, because you know, he knows that he was telling me that they know they are dreaming, Madam Speaker. And I was telling him, Madam Speaker, it is very important to dream, but how can we make the dreams reality? I was encouraging him to advise his government to make sure that they can, instead of dreaming, they can also see how to make the dreams come true, Madam Speaker. So it is important, Madam Speaker, and I want to support this bill, and I will stand with the honor of this bill to support until the end. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. Honorable members, allow me to recognize again in the public gallery students and teachers from Kapserere Academy, Keio South, Elgeyo Marakwet County, students and delegation from Castin School, Embakasi East, Nairobi County. We welcome them to observe the proceedings of the House. Honorable Ngeleche, why are you looking at me with a manner to suggest that you'd want to welcome the students from Elgeyo Marakwet? Do that very quickly, 1 minute, together with the others.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Let me take this opportunity to welcome the students or the pupils from Keio South and even from other schools in this Republic of Kenya to this Honorable House, and to encourage them that this is the house where the laws of this land are being made, and also to encourage them that most of these members came from villages and the schools in the rural areas of Kenya. And here they are in this house. I want to encourage them that with education, they can find themselves in future in this particular house, or even in better places and better professions, like some are going to be engineers, doctors, pilots, and even the presidents of this Republic of Kenya. So let me take this opportunity to welcome them to this honorable house, feel at home, and welcome and learn what happens in the August House. Thank you.
Very well. Member for Marakwet West, you have the floor. On the bill.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to submit on this very important bill, the Books and Newspapers Amendment Bill 2025. Honorable Speaker, I wish from the onset to congratulate the Honorable Member, the Chair of the Committee, my friend, Honorable David Epuya Nanok. Honorable Speaker, I initially served in this committee. Honorable Speaker, for the first time, this committee has proved to be very important in this House. That's the Committee on Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library. Honorable Speaker, initially, when I was in the Committee on Education and Research in this House, and I was moved to the Committee on Broadcasting and Library, Honorable Speaker, some told me that this committee is also known as the Committee on Punishment. Honorable Speaker, this committee today has proven that this committee is a very important committee of this Honorable House. Honorable Speaker, on the substance of the bill, I support the letter and the intent of this particular bill. Honorable Speaker, this bill was passed and assented to on the first day of July 1960. Honorable Speaker, that is 66 years since this bill was passed and assented. Honorable Speaker, that was 3 years before we attained independence in our country. Honorable Speaker, since 1960, a lot has happened in this country. We passed a new constitution in 2010. Honorable Speaker, therefore, there is need to amend this bill to reflect the current provisions as provided for in our constitution. Honorable Speaker, of importance is Article 35 of our constitution, which provides, Honorable Speaker, very clearly on which guarantees us the right to access of information. Honorable Speaker, provides that every citizen has a right to get data or information held by state or other persons. Honorable Speaker, such information is contained in publications, is contained in books, and therefore, Honorable Speaker, the purpose of this bill is that any person in this country who publishes certain information, who writes a book, whether printed or published, shall have the same delivered within 14 days to the National Assembly for purposes of archiving it or for purposes of presenting it to our parliamentary library. Honorable Speaker, for me, that is very important because this library is very important. It serves as a source of information, as a source of research, and therefore, Honorable Speaker, even members of Parliament can be able to get information from books that have been published. Honorable Speaker, there has been an old joke or saying that if you want to hide anything from an African, you place it in a book. There has been a perception that Africans are not very intentional in doing research and reading. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, by the mere fact that we have these publications, these books presented and delivered in our libraries, it means therefore that we shall be able to access and get information that will be able to transform our country or even individual lives. Honorable Speaker, many countries have done a comparative study. Singapore, Honorable Speaker, the country that we aspire to be in this country, has already amended their law to have books, publications presented to the library of their National Assembly. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we are learning from the best. Our president also has told us that we aspire to be Singapore, and therefore, if we aspire to take this country to Singapore, then we must live it. We must act as they are doing, so that we can be able to realize that particular dream. Honorable Speaker, having also been a member of the Committee on Broadcasting and Library, there is need to devolve information from the National Assembly to the local libraries. Honorable Speaker, there was a proposal to establish parliamentary corners in our public libraries in this country. Honorable Speaker, the Hansard information that is in this House cannot help our people if the same is not taken to our public libraries at the county level. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I support fully the proposal that we establish parliamentary corners within national and county libraries at the local level so that parliamentary materials can be taken to those libraries and that information can be consumed by the local people at the local libraries. Honorable Speaker, we have answered reports here, we have bills, we have very important documents, Honorable Speaker, that can benefit our people if we devolve information that we have at the National Assembly to the local level through public libraries.
What is out of order, Wanjiko?
Honorable Speaker, I have been mishandled by a male sergeant at arms, yet there are 3 or 4 female sergeant at arms at the entry, and he was denying me entrance, even holding my hands, almost my breast. And Honorable Speaker, he was telling me that he want to consult if what I'm dressed, hii kitambaa kama iko sawa. And Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Wanjiko,
Honorable Speaker,
why would you be handled by...
That is the question, because there are 4 or 3 female sergeant at arms at the main entrance. So why would a man handle me, even he want to deny me entry by force, and even physically, Honorable Speaker? And as you are aware, Honorable Kagusha has been going through hell under the police custody. So I've been in prayers, and in my church, when I'm going through prayers, I put on a headscarf.
Honorable Wanjiko,
so the sergeant at arms want to dictate me.
Order, Honorable Wanjiko, I will find out if it is true that any sergeant at arms has... do not assist the Speaker. I have heard you. We will confirm so that the Speaker can make a ruling on that. And where I sit, honorable members who are women are allowed a headscarf. So I don't see anything out of order. Honorable KJ, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker,
there can only be one at a time, member for Kaiti. Hold on.
Madam Speaker, it would be very unfortunate if a lady member has been mishandled in this house. Madam Speaker, that is something I know that your seat would be able to intervene on. What I would not agree, Madam Speaker, is that the Honorable Wanjiko Mohia could in any way have been mishandled because of the color of her headgear. That is not something that I would agree to. To even bring up the issue of the Honorable Kagushia, well, it must be said, Madam Speaker, that we are speaking to a country that is seeking national unity, and we are